As once Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Have you ever found yourself losing your cool in a stressful situation? Maybe you've had an unexpected setback, or someone just pushed your buttons a little too hard. It happens to all of us. But what if I told you there's an ancient philosophy that can help you stay calm, grounded, and resilient, no matter what life throws your way? Welcome to the world of Stoicism, an age-old philosophy that teaches us to control our reactions, embrace challenges, and live a life of purpose. Today, we're diving deep into 10 powerful Stoic principles that can transform the way you handle stress, anxiety, and even the most difficult situations. So, if you're ready to learn how to stay calm and collected, no matter the chaos around you, stick around, because this video is about to change your perspective on life. From mastering the art of patience in a world full of distractions, to learning how to handle difficult conversations with grace, we'll explore the timeless teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus to help you navigate life with a peaceful mind and strong will. Let's jump in and discover how you can start applying these Stoic strategies to your life today. Ready to unlock a calmer, more resilient you? Let's get started. Number 1. When plans don't go as expected. Life is inherently unpredictable, and no matter how well we plan, we are bound to encounter unforeseen obstacles. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasize that while we may not have control over the events that unfold, we always have control over how we respond. This is central to their philosophy of distinguishing between things we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and those we cannot, external events, others' actions. How Stoicism helps. Rather than seeing failure or unexpected outcomes as disasters, Stoicism encourages us to embrace them as opportunities for growth. Instead of lamenting the situation, we can shift our focus to how we can adapt and move forward. Marcus Aurelius advised himself to see obstacles as natural parts of life, even writing, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Practical application. When things don't go as planned, step back and reflect on your response. Ask yourself, what's within my control now? Shift your energy to what you can do next, rather than focusing on the failure itself. Reframe the setback as a chance to learn, reassess, and adapt. For example, if a project fails at work, instead of getting discouraged, assess what went wrong, learn from it, and approach the next step with newfound insight. Number 2. Dealing with loneliness. The Stoics saw loneliness as an opportunity to turn inward, rather than an undesirable state to escape. Seneca often wrote about the value of solitude, emphasizing that it is not being alone that causes misery, but rather our attitude toward it. Being alone gives us the chance to cultivate self-sufficiency, reflection, and a deeper connection with our own values and thoughts. How Stoicism helps. Instead of feeling despair over being alone, Stoicism helps us find peace by focusing on personal growth and inner reflection. The Stoics believe that we should rely on our inner virtues, wisdom, courage, and self-control, rather than external relationships for fulfillment. Epictetus argued that we should be content with our own company, recognizing that loneliness does not equate to worthlessness. Instead, solitude can lead to profound self-discovery. Practical application. When experiencing loneliness, rather than trying to fill the void with distractions, use the opportunity to engage in activities that nourish your inner life. This might include reading, journaling, meditating, or pursuing hobbies that bring you joy and self-improvement. Reframe your experience. Am I using this time to grow and become more self-reliant? Think of solitude as a tool for reflection, rather than a burden. Number 3. Facing difficult conversations. Difficult conversations are an inevitable part of life, but how we handle them is entirely within our control. Seneca and Epictetus emphasized the importance of calmness and reasoned responses. The Stoics advocated for keeping a clear mind and emotional detachment, focusing on the issue rather than letting emotions dictate the outcome. How Stoicism helps. Stoicism helps us avoid reacting impulsively when faced with criticism, disagreement, or conflict. Instead, we are encouraged to respond thoughtfully and with understanding. By practicing self-control, we prevent emotions from escalating the situation, allowing for constructive dialogue. In difficult conversations, the Stoic asks, what's the most rational way to approach this? Practical application. Before entering a tough conversation, take a moment to reflect on your purpose. What do you want to achieve? What would be a productive outcome? Keep your emotions in check by focusing on the facts, rather than getting bogged down by personal feelings. Practice active listening, seeking to understand the other person's perspective, and respond with respect and calmness. Number 4. Dealing with difficult bosses or colleagues. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control the behavior of others, but we can control how we respond. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that he would encounter difficult people, because they were part of the natural order of things. The Stoics believed that our responses to others define us, not the actions of those around us. How Stoicism helps. When dealing with difficult colleagues or supervisors, Stoicism encourages us to practice self-restraint and professionalism. Epictetus taught that we should focus on acting with virtue, even when faced with provocation. We can choose to remain calm, avoid taking things personally, and focus on doing our work to the best of our ability. Practical application. When faced with a difficult boss or colleague, take a deep breath and step back. Ask yourself, what is within my control? You cannot change their behavior, but you can control how you engage with them. Remain composed and respectful, focus on your own work, and don't let their behavior derail your personal peace or productivity. Number 5. When experiencing anxiety or worry. Stoicism teaches that anxiety often stems from worrying about future events that are beyond our control. Epictetus argued that we should not be disturbed by what might happen, because worrying about things that are not yet real only diminishes our ability to act rationally in the present. Marcus Aurelius advised himself to remember that the things we fear rarely happen and that the things we fear are often only as harmful as our thoughts make them. How Stoicism helps. By focusing on the present moment and taking reasonable action instead of ruminating on uncertain outcomes, Stoicism helps us overcome anxiety. The Stoic accepts that some things are outside their control, but by focusing on what is within their control, their thoughts, actions, and responses, they can find peace of mind. Practical application. When you start feeling anxious, pause and evaluate the source of your worry. Ask, what can I control in this situation? Focus on what is actionable and practical. Instead of allowing anxiety to dominate your thoughts, take small steps toward addressing the concern. If you're worried about a future event, prepare for it in a calm and rational way, but do not obsess over it. Number 6. Handling negative news or media. The Stoics believe that we should avoid immersing ourselves in news or media that we cannot control, especially when it disturbs our peace of mind. Seneca cautioned that the media often floods us with negative news that can lead to excessive worry. Marcus Aurelius warned against allowing external events to disturb our inner tranquility. How Stoicism helps. By practicing mindful consumption, Stoicism encourages us to limit exposure to media that disturbs our peace. The Stoic philosophy teaches that we should focus on what we can influence, our thoughts, our actions, our immediate environment, and not become overwhelmed by external events we cannot change. Practical application. Take control of your media consumption by being selective. Choose news sources that are balanced and fact-based. Limit exposure to sensationalist or fear-driven content. Reflect on whether the information is truly relevant to your well-being or if it's simply feeding anxiety. Commit to engaging with media in a way that does not disrupt your emotional balance. Number 7. When facing social pressure. Social pressure arises from the desire to meet others' expectations. The Stoics believed that we should focus on living according to our values, rather than seeking validation from others. Marcus Aurelius wrote that it's a mark of virtue to act in accordance with one's principles, regardless of whether others approve. How Stoicism helps. Stoicism strengthens our ability to resist social pressure by focusing on our internal values and integrity. By living authentically, we can navigate social situations without compromising who we are. This internal alignment helps us to remain unshaken in the face of external judgment. Practical application. When faced with social pressure, remind yourself, what do I value? Stay true to your beliefs, and don't let external expectations push you into actions that are not in line with your personal integrity. Practice the Stoic ideal of acting according to virtue, regardless of others' opinions. Number 8. When facing unfairness or injustice. The Stoics understood that life is not always just, and injustice is a part of human experience. However, Epictetus taught that our response to injustice is what shapes our character. Rather than succumbing to anger or bitterness, Stoicism teaches us to maintain equanimity and focus on acting in ways that align with our values of justice, wisdom, and virtue. How Stoicism helps. By practicing detachment from the actions of others, Stoicism allows us to maintain peace in the face of injustice. We can't control how others behave, but we can control how we respond. Instead of becoming consumed by resentment, Stoicism encourages us to act with dignity and rationality, making decisions that reflect our principles. Practical application. If you encounter injustice, focus on how to respond virtuously. Ask yourself, what is the most just and rational way for me to respond here? Resist the temptation to react emotionally or to seek revenge. Instead, aim to act with integrity and self-control. Number 9. Dealing with unforeseen loss of time or effort. In Stoicism, time is one of the most valuable resources. Marcus Aurelius reflected that once time is spent, it can never be recovered. So, it is important to use it wisely. However, Stoicism also teaches that regret over lost time is unproductive, and what matters is how we use the time we have left. How Stoicism helps. Rather than wallowing in regret over lost time, Stoicism helps us to shift our focus to the present. The present moment is all we can control, and now is the time to make decisions that align with our values. This mindset helps us avoid wasting time on past mistakes and instead focuses on future action. Practical application. If you feel frustrated by time lost to a past mistake, reframe the situation. Ask, what can I do now? Use the time you still have to take constructive action. Shift from regret to practical steps that will help you move forward and achieve your goals. Number 10. When feeling overwhelmed by expectations. Expectations, whether from others or ourselves, can feel overwhelming. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control the expectations others place on us, but we can control how we choose to meet those expectations. Marcus Aurelius advised to focus on our actions, and not on external validation or approval. How Stoicism helps. By focusing on what truly matters to us, Stoicism helps us let go of external pressures. When feeling overwhelmed, remind yourself that your worth is not defined by meeting other people's expectations, but by living according to your own principles. Practical application. when overwhelmed by expectations, take a moment to reflect on your values. Ask yourself, what is important to me? Focus on what you can do with integrity and authenticity, and allow that to guide your actions. So, there you have it, 10 powerful Stoic principles to help you stay calm, grounded, and resilient, no matter what life throws at you. Remember, it's not about avoiding challenges, but about how we choose to respond to them. The Stoics knew that peace comes from within, and we have the power to cultivate that same peace every day. If you found these Stoic lessons helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, and share this video with anyone who could use a little more calm in their life. And if you're ready to dive even deeper into Stoicism, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Until next time, remember, the only thing we can control is how we choose to respond. Stay resilient, stay calm, and keep practicing the art of Stoicism.